Thank you. And now I call the member for Corangamite.
Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker. Mr Deputy Speaker, the ABC's decision to terminate the broadcast of the Women's National Basketball League, along with other women's sporting competitions such as women's soccer, is very disappointing. However, it has nothing whatsoever to do with the government's efficiency dividend, and I do regret the fairly poor contribution by the member for Bendigo, who has not made any attribution of the quote that she put into this parliament, and that she should table that quote, because the ABC, in fact, has made it quite clear that the programming decisions it has made have nothing to do with the efficiency dividend, and they have all to do with the ABC's independent editorial program making. Now, that's not to say that we agree with this, and I certainly don't agree with the decision, but, Mr Deputy Speaker, it is very clear that the ABC's decisions, whether it be in relation to the axing of Butch Telegraph, which is a terrible decision, the axing of the state editions of the 7:30, very disappointing, the closure of foreign bureaus, and even the threatened axing of Lateline, are all editorial decisions of the ABC. And had the member for Bendigo, Mr Deputy Speaker, done some basic research, she would know that this has actually been put forward in evidence before Senate estimates. The ABC, with respect to women's sport, has made it clear on many occasions, including to a Labor senator in estimates on the 1st of December 2014, that they were moving to a new strategy unrelated to the government's efficiency study in regards to sports programming and women's sports programming in particular. And to the member for Bendigo, I do say it's very regrettable that she has essentially, I think, put forward a very dishonest contribution today. Senator Singh, in fact, asked the Managing Director of the ABC about this in relation to the conclusion and the termination of the WNBL, and Mr Scott, in reply, said, "What we are trying to do is focus our sport investment. We will be looking to cover women's sport, but particularly national women's sport rather than local competitions. It's called the Green and Gold Strategy," Mr Finlayson said. And Senator Singh then said, "So Women's National Basketball League will not be broadcast. This is a national women's sport." And Mr Scott said the week-in, week-out competitions, that's what they find hard. One of the things is, and I'm quoting here directly, one of the things is that if you cover the national team, you are more likely to get a national audience around that, whereas if you cover other competitions, the audiences often are markedly smaller. Mr Deputy Speaker, I worked at the ABC for some 9 years, and when I worked there in the 80s and the 90s, I understood very well, as did everyone at the ABC, that there was a fairly aggressive chase for ratings. This is what this decision is all about. It's about an aggressive chase for ratings, and I have to say it's disappointing because the ABC's charter does not require this, and that's why we have seen a drop-off in very important programming like arts, like Indigenous programming, specialist regional programs, and now to women's sport. And what a shame that the ABC has pursued the broadcast of sports such as the Asian Cup and left women's sport behind. So I have no issue at all in agreeing with the member for Bendigo that this is an unfortunate and regrettable decision, but it is very dishonest and misleading to suggest that this is a result of the efficiency dividend, as we've heard in evidence before Senate estimates. I also want to make it very clear, Mr Deputy Speaker, that the ABC is receiving in excess of $1 billion a year in funding from the Australian government. The efficiency dividend of $254 million over 5 years, a 4.6% reduction, represents a reduction from $5.47 billion to $5.22 billion. So let's not kid ourselves, the ABC is still extremely well funded, courtesy of the taxpayer. It is disappointing that the ABC has run the round of redundancies. I do believe that there is some smoke and mirrors involved, an attempt by the ABC to tie its redundancies with the decision of the efficiency dividend and the Lewis efficiency review. But nevertheless, the ABC has made it very clear that these decisions are a matter for the ABC. I would urge the ABC to reconsider its decision. We do need women's basketball back on television, and it's regrettable that this motion has been put forward in the way it has today. Thank you very much, Mr Deputy
I thank
Speaker.
the member for Corangamite.